You know, our vision will not change, which is to be the best program in the state of Missouri. I mean, we're going to be successful because of the way that we practice, the way that we work, the way that we play, and that's what's going to make folks proud at the end of the day, and that's why we play football. Anyway, we got great kids, man, and that's probably the best part of this whole thing. Play the very best that we can play, no matter who we play, because at the end of the day, that's what we're supposed to do, is give our best, regardless of who we're playing, and I thought our kids did that. And, you know, you have no idea how much it helps the kids, you know, when the fans are behind them and the students are into it, you know, so I just ask that they show up and let's be ready to go. You know what, I mean, if you approach life from the standpoint of, I want to be the very best I can be today and don't worry about tomorrow and don't worry about yesterday, you know, it kind of works itself out. I mean, they're coaching their butts off every single day, every single minute to put the best product they can put out there. And we're going to have kids that are going to compete. Like, they're going to go out there and compete their butts off, you know, and sometimes that's good enough, sometimes it's not. But what we have to do is do the fundamental things that's good for us, and that's hang on to the ball, try to have some big plays, be good in special teams. You know, like the objectives that it takes to win football, that's what we're working on every single day. Anybody that's ever been a competitor loves to compete. You know, like I can't wait for them to get in there, you know, and let's see how our kids perform.
Here we are, we're back again. Nixa football, are you ready to fight?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Week 11 of the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Man, we are back. Woo! Excited to be here, Coach. You know, we missed last week and had that behind-the-scenes video that we did, and I actually really enjoyed that. And we were talking off camera. I'm like, I want to do that again next season. And Coach Wells was like, man, you got to come over more often. I think that'd be kind of a good idea. What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, I think it's cool. We enjoyed having you out there, and, you know, that's a different look when you kind of get behind the scenes and see how dirty the field house really is, you know.
Yeah, I did have some of that video on there, and you guys have to deal with that dormitory every day. Well, Coach, we've already marked a couple weeks ago, but we've got a big victory to put on the Signorama sign. Come on, Coach, what's that score last week, guys? 28 with a big 0. Ah, very good. Thanks to Signorama. Of course, now we're into the extra scoreboard, Coach. You notice we're on to the playoffs, and that's what we're going to talk about this week. Before we get there, though, let's go over a word of our sponsors real fast. Big thanks to Jenkins CPA, of course, fine sponsors of the Nixa Touchdown Club and so many other organizations in the community. And, of course, normally Vance Jenkins, our producer, he's out of town or he's sleeping or something. And we've got Heather behind the scenes with us tonight. So give Heather a round of applause for filling in at the last minute and learning how to be a producer of the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Also, big thanks to our host tonight, Big Whiskey's American Bar and Grill. Make sure you tip your waiters and waitresses, and of course they always live stream the game. We are going to be in Joplin this Friday night, so if you can't make it down there but you want to come and enjoy some Eagle fans, this is a great place to do that on Friday nights. Also, our Player of the Week sponsored by Price Cutter, locally owned and operated, of course, also home of the Team Event Store or the Nixa Event Team Store, where all of the apparel and gear is on display for you to purchase. And then, of course, that brings us to our Coach Perry introduction, and that's brought to you by Greg's Lawnmower Shop. I got to tell you, I did finally get the John Deere out. I've used it a lot, working like a charm, thanks to Greg. And now it's time to start chopping up some walnuts and a few things like that in my backyard. So we'll get that done later this year with that John Deere. But, you know, that does. But you, Coach, before we just bring up Coach Perry, you want to bring up a special guest host with us tonight. Who's coming up to help us out?
Well, I needed a little help tonight from the guy that probably had as much to do with the ball game, the way it went, than anybody, and that was Mr. Jaden Avon. So if you would come up and help me out.
All right, Jaden Avon, where you at, buddy? Come on, you're in the hot seat tonight, man. You're not a guest.
He's Coach Avon tonight.
He's Coach Avon tonight. How's that, Jaden? Here's your mic. Remember, stay pretty tight in it. Speak up. Let the voice be heard. But, man, we're going to talk about the game and some plays. You good with that?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I watched you work your tail off the other night. I mean, right off the bat, we're talking about this first TD drive. Here, let me get it queued up here. So I think they went 3 and out. We come back. I love this right here, Jaden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 11, 10. 10 guys. 10 guys, man. What's going on? I mean, this is a big play right off the bat. This is the hammer play, right?
Yeah.
So you're carrying how many here? I mean, that's just muscle. Where's that grind come from inside you?
I don't know. I just get the ball and try to run as hard as I can and not go down.
Well, Coach, we had quite a few plays. We went like 57 yards and 15 plays in this opening drive. Big thanks to your defense for getting you a great field position.
Yeah, it was a great drive. It was kind of misting a little bit, so, we were trusting that we could keep it on the ground and let Jaden run it behind that big offensive line. And, those guys were pretty good. They stacked the box. They made us, they didn't make it as easy as we thought it was. But Jaden does a fantastic job. He's kind of built well for running the football. You know what I'm saying? Like he's 200 and I don't know, 230 maybe, 225.
220.
220. He ain't seen 220 in about 2 years, but other than that, he does a really good job. Has a low center of gravity. He runs hard, and I don't think it's over. He don't overcomplicate it. He hits the holes, and then he has great balance and good vision, and does an outstanding job.
Well, he does, and in the hammer, we're going to talk to John Golson coming up a little bit later about his role in that fullback position. But those two guys, Avery and John, leading him down that helping up the hole behind that line. That's a powerful play.
No doubt about it.
The second TD drive, just as long. Big thanks to the defense again, getting you great field position. Took you 15 plays to go 51 yards. Now here we're going to focus a couple of the passes. Knitzel and Combs again connect. They had a couple of challenges, just some close calls, but finally got a connection here, Coach.
Sure. The ball was wet, and I think there was a couple of them kind of slipped through his hands early. This one, he just does a great job of finding it, coming down with it on a big third down play that we really needed.
And here we thought Jaden Abram might punch it in, but you went with the fade in the corner.
Yeah, we threw it up. They were pretty good on the defensive line. It was a challenge getting it into the end zone a couple times. Nose guard was hitting the ground. We couldn't dig him out of there, but
did you see
he did a great job of going to get it.
Did you see Jaden I can't reverse it on this program, but did you see Jaden pancake that kid on that block? I probably didn't see it.
I think that was Kaysen.
Huh?
That was Kaysen.
Oh, was it Kaysen? Okay. Well, Kaysen Hammond, good job, man. I thought it was you. Third TD drive. All right, so here we go. 12 plays. Sorry, man, it's hard for me to catch up with the numbers. Here we're going to focus on a couple more key passes in this game, Coach. We've got the Rylan Michelle catch here. No, this is the Cale Combs one here. And then we're going to go to Rylan Michelle and Jordan Turner. You actually throw the ball a little bit more this series.
Yeah, we were trying to, get it down the field a little bit. It had probably quit drizzling as much. Maybe the ball wasn't as wet. And they were giving us some things in the passing game we didn't, that we thought were open. So we tried. We did throw it a little bit. And some of it we had to. I mean, Jordan's catch was a big third down or fourth down play that we had to have.
Right.
What makes me most proud as the coach is, when you say 10 and 12 and 15 play drives, the fact that we have a bunch of different people handling the ball, and we don't turn it over. They do a fantastic job of protecting the football. The little things in football matters, and you'll see all of them do a really good job of protecting the football. And when it's wet, you got to be a little extra careful. That was the pass play right there to Rylan, which we had kind of worked all week, thought it would be there, ran a great route, and caught the ball.
Yeah, and Turner comes up with a good play here too, Coach. I mean, Knitzel does well with getting the ball there, too.
Yeah, that's not even the play I called, but it worked out okay. Sometimes you just got to make it work. And, I don't know if Connor didn't really get the play, so he just called something. And, Jordan was supposed to run a slant, and he just was like, well, I couldn't run a slant, so I ran that instead. And it worked out. It worked fine for me.
Well, and, of course, Jay David's going to punch this in here. So that brings us up. Of course, the other thing too, Coach, is the defense had an outstanding night, and I'd love to dive into that just a little bit. We will, but we're going to do a lot of that with Coach Wickwar coming up. This next series, though, is the one where Jaden actually has that big carry. So we get a fumble recovery. We're on the 11-yard line, and we go 10 plays, 89 yards. Jaden, this is that big run that you had here. Set it up for me.
Well, let me set this up. If he was 220, he'd have probably scored. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have got caught. But because he's 230, he got caught on the 3-yard line.
Well, come on, Jaden. I mean, you're busting. I mean, you got a good block here. You're going to see it later on. You get a hole, you pop outside. It's the first time I've seen you run outside the tackle all night.
I don't know. I almost tripped. That's why I think I didn't get caught. So that's my reason I got caught.
You know what? And he does a great job. Like, that ball was not intended to go out there, but that's why I say, he does have really good vision with the ball in his hands. He saw some grass out there, and he just jumped out there in it and took off. And it was a great drive. I mean, we were going to try to run the ball every single snap, go 90 yards and score and put the game away. And we had some big runs by Spencer on that, and Jaden as well. And then Kaysen comes in and finishes it off right there.
So, Jaden, you ended up with 19 carries, 106 yards, 5.6 average, 2 TDs, man. Great job on the offensive side. That doesn't, not to mention that the guy ended up having, let's see if I can read these stats here. He had 6 tackles, 2 assists, and a pressure. So, I mean, he ended up with 8 tackles on the night. Second leading tackler, Golson, number 1 with 9 tackles.
Well, one of the
man,
things
you worked your tail off the other night, dude.
No doubt. One of the things I regretted about the Carthage game was, he was in the game for 2 series, and we didn't have Spencer that night. And the 2 series he was in the game, they went really well for us. And I was, I didn't play him more thinking that we were going to save some energy for the defense, but that didn't work out too good for us on that side of the ball. So hindsight, I probably should have played him a little bit more. So Friday night, we was going to play him as much as we needed to because, at this point in time, it's win or go home.
Yeah.
And these guys don't want to pack up their stuff and go home. I mean, high school football is one of the greatest things that, can happen to our kids. I mean, you can play softball as an adult. You can play baseball as an adult. Just ask Kaysen's dad, right? He's 83 years old and he's still pitching.
He's over there with the Ducks.
But I mean, football's it. When it's over, it's over. You don't go put on the pads anymore. So these guys want to keep playing, and we're gonna play some more of these guys both ways if we need to get it done. And Jaden has been outstanding.
So Jaden, you're one of the crew that's called the Freak, right? So the Freaks. So how are the Freaks getting ready for this coming Friday night against Joplin? We're going back down there again. What have you guys been working on?
We've been working on this Freaks package with me, Spencer, and John and Avery's in it. And Spencer's at quarterback, I'm at running back, and we'll do some plays where I get the ball, and then some where Spencer gets the ball.
A little bit of revenge factor here. Do you feel that? Is the team feeling that behind the scenes? Like, hey, we're coming back, and we're going to whoop them this time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're coming back, and we're going to leave with the win regardless.
Yeah. Jaden, outstanding job. And because of you this week having a great performance, Coach wanted to bring you up and bring you on to the first interview. And we also want to make you one of our honorary players of the week. So you'll be getting one of those big stakes, man. Great job. Give a big round of applause for Jaden Avon. Coach, any final thoughts on Lee Summit West as we get ready to talk about the defense with Coach Wickwar?
Man, we're just excited to get the W. I thought we played really well. We were anxious to get back to work and practice. And, when you get to play somebody, not oftentimes in football do you get a chance to redo something. When we left there that night, the message was we will see them again. Like we felt like we'd see them again at that time. And, so we're excited for the return trip and, can't wait for Friday.
All right, sounds good. Well, coming up, we're going to find out the secrets behind the shutout with Coach Wickwar right here at the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show, and a special message there. Yeah, come on, round of applause, guys. We're back. Of course, we couldn't do this without our sponsors, and their message, Coach. That message was from Jenkins CPA, so a big supporter, and we appreciate them. But we did forget to do something with Coach Perry, and we're going to do it with you real fast. We decided that, we've been honoring different players of the week, not necessarily always on performances, but clutch plays. And I thought these 2 plays right here, Riley Michelle and his big reception, and Jordan Turner's there, I think at the first of the third quarter, were 2 big crucial plays that we needed to keep that ball moving. So please give a round of applause for these two player of the week. We can make it up from last weekend this week, Riley Michelle and Jordan Turner. Big thanks to Price Cutter and we'll get that certificate for the steak from them. So we showed those clips earlier with Coach Perry. All right, so it's time to talk about our Coach of the Week, Phil Workmore, man. The big shutout, dude. Big goose egg.
Yeah, about time, huh?
Yeah, I don't see any more on there. So, yeah, we finally got one this week.
That looks good. That looks good.
So as I looked at some of the defensive plays, Coach, I mean, you guys were all over the field. You were shutting them down to the line. They weren't making big plays. They had a couple big passes, but all in all, man, every time you guys needed to step up, especially there in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, you came up with either big turnovers, interceptions, or big stops.
Yeah, we had a great performance. One of the things, Coach Perry, and I learn in concepts, so I do not have the particulars, but something about bamboo. Well, they water that thing for, 37 years or something, okay? And like 5 or 6. And then you don't see it, and then all of a sudden it grows 30, 40 feet in 3 months.
Right.
And that's kind of what our defense has done. We've just been chipping away, had some performance, had some adversity due to some injuries, and really against a quality offense felt like we saw the outward growth. And so that was exciting for me, for these young men who have kept the faith and worked their tails off all season. It was a really special performance by them.
Well, Coach, I was talking to Coach Hawkins, former Nixa football coach, and after the game on the Carthage game, and we were commenting that we thought that Carthage did a great job of continuing to block downfield, and it was hard for us to get away from those. I come over to practice on Monday, and you guys are doing drills on that very technique, how to get away from that blocker, and I think I saw more of that against Lee Summit West.
Yeah, and the other thing we did, it was get off blocks was one of the things. We always go at a round table, and the first thing we do is evaluate ourselves. On parents are probably surprised to hear that, but we evaluate us. And we collaborate. And that's one of the main things that come out of it is we've got to get off blocks. And it's one thing to converse about it. It's another thing to put it in action and work on it. We realized that our young men were pretty proficient. And then we went back and we dug deeper, and through some injuries and this and that, I don't know if you've ever been in position. I really think we had some overthinking. We have a lot of knowledge on the defensive side, and we try very hard out of respect for our kids and our program to put them in the best position. And sometimes you can just do too dadgum much.
Right.
And I think Friday night you saw a bunch of very good kids playing very fast because we kept things very simple. And I think that was a real key to us going forward.
Well, Coach, when you saw they were on the 11-yard line, we come up with a big fumble recovery, I mean, that preserves the shutout. Man, that's got to make you excited.
Oh, yeah. It's, a shutout special. But I'll tell you what, waking up Saturday morning and watching each play and watching this effort we're watching on the screen, I mean, that's a huge positive, too. We break it down, per possession, per play, per person. And we just had an outstanding. To see 9 athletes get to the ball, be unselfish. John's coming up. Jaden's been a integral part of our defense. And now he gets to share in the offense. But John, I'm I'd say kind of a defensive line specialist. And that kid defines what a motor is. He does some stuff I've never seen. And I've had some very good defensive linemen. So all levels stepping up. Michael's here. I teased him because I have a lot of nicknames for Michael, and he was afraid I was going to use them on air, but I won't. They're all kind of like endearing nicknames, We called John the dad bod destroyer because I don't know if you've ever seen John without a shirt on. It's not that daggum impressive, but you put him on the football field and you watch these highlights. That's a special young man, a special football player. So,
what was that nickname again?
The Dad Bod Destroyer.
The Dad Bod Destroyer.
Now he is opposite, the Storm and Mormon. So we have nicknames within our family, because that young man is
the Wick
special
Mafia.
too. Yeah. We all have nicknames.
Man, you guys should have dressed up for Halloween as the Mafia crew or something like that. That would have been funny. Did I see 5 turnovers the other night?
Believe we did.
I think it was 5. And Avery had like 3 himself, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I just kept saying, here comes the boom, it felt like. Yeah.
And we need to work on that because the bucket brigade was a little soft the other night. we couldn't find the bucket at all times. So we've worked on that this week.
We're going to find,
it's gonna
find
come
us a
back.
freshman
It's
or
gonna
a
come
sophomore
back.
that's going to
Yeah.
hold the bucket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a great week. We're excited to see a big 0. We know Joplin has some offense, and I think some of those big starters are going to be back in action this coming Friday night. We know their quarterback, always right,
Yep.
can throw the ball a little bit and is a good athlete.
Yeah.
How are we getting prepared for that?
We're just really excited. What we're watching is kind of our focus. We're looking at us and the advancements we've made, and we're really excited to go back. It's a measuring stick, and I think we've taken little steps all season long, so we're a much better defense. And so we're really excited for the challenge.
Well, I know that you and Coach Perry and all the players are ready to get some revenge down there in Joplin. Coming up next, we got a couple. You've already been talking about John Golson and how great of a student he is.
Gave him quite an intro, I did.
Yeah, you did. It was a dad bod destroyer.
Yeah.
Dad body.
Yeah.
Dad bod destroyer. Thomas Schulte on the offensive line. I know you probably know the kid. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Tom.
It's been fun because I have not played an integral part of Thomas. I've been watching from afar, but I'll tell you what, and Jane was up here earlier, the neatest thing about coaching is see the development of these young men, not only as athletes but as men, and in their confidence and their play and how they prepare. And all of these guys we're talking about tonight, among many of these guys sitting out in the audience we're not talking about, what people behind the scenes don't see is the hours and hours and hours
Right.
of commitment, running, lifting, and to see them
Watching game film and
to see them display it in their play, because that's why they're doing it, is really fun. That's
All right.
probably the coolest thing we get to do.
Well, when we come back, we're going to hear from our special guest, couple seniors, Thomas Schulte and John Golson. Don't go away. We'll be right back here at the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show after this message from Price Cutter. And of course, we're showing some clips here of the store a little bit, and we've seen a lot of improvements over the last year or two. What are some of the major things different that we're going to find inside of our Price Cutter store here in Nixa?
Tremendous amount of variety. We pride ourselves in being a one-stop shop where you can find everything you want, and this was just another addition of now you can buy your Nixa gear along with your green beans and your fresh seafood and your fresh meat and produce. So
Well, it's funny. My daughter just popped in a while ago, and I bought her some sushi. So
Yes,
you can get
exactly,
sushi here
exactly.
at Price Cutter in Nixa. So you guys know where Price Cutter is. I'm sure they come and visit the Starbucks, right? They always love to come to see the Starbucks. But, their meat selection is fantastic, a great selection of produce, fresh food. The store always looks clean. It's always faced. It's just a fantastic representation that we have right here in Nixa. And, Rob, we appreciate all the support. You and Mr. Taylor, I see he's back here, the president of the company, and all that they've done for Nixa over the years. So, guys, if you want more Nixa gear, stop by Price Cutter right here in Nixa. It's going to be open during their hours. It's beautiful. Come check it out. Where's Coach Perry at? I see Coach Perry. We've got Coach Perryman from the basketball team. We've got some baseball. You guys need to come get the gears to support these coaches, all right? Guys, give us a big round of applause for celebrating the team store. And welcome back to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show, the Week 11 edition. Yeah, I got a big crowd here tonight at Big Whiskey's. And as always, you can always join us on Tuesday nights following the game. And we'll keep having the shows until the end of season. And hopefully it's all the way after we go to the Show Me Bowl. So we're working towards that. We've got it lined out here on the Signorama sign. Big thanks to our sponsors tonight, Jenkins CPA. Of course, Price Cutter Player of the Week. You just saw a message from them. In addition to that, we thank Greg's Mower Shop and Big Whiskey's. Now, you guys, they gave you a couple of additional appetizers tonight, so grab those. So, there, you can get it later. We'll get it later. You guys, I know you like Big Whiskey's. Tom, what'd you eat, man? What'd you have?
I got the pretzel burger with fries.
Pretzel burger with fries. All right. What about you, Golson?
Well, I'm gonna have to take it home maybe, but I got
Okay.
the full rack of ribs.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Full rack of ribs, man. Sounds good. Well, we do appreciate Big Whiskey's and them hosting each and every week. So, all right, let's just jump right into it, guys. Lee Summit West, they came back to Nixa. You had them last year, a little bit different team. We pitched a shutout on the defensive side. I know, John, you're one of the freaks. You play both ways. But I'd like to focus a little bit on the offensive side, them moving you to more of this hammer time role. If we can get this clip to push up. I think I pushed it. Let's see. There we go. So let's look at it. This is we're backed up in the end zone, and coach just says, "Hey, let's stick with the hammer." So your job here is to bust through. You and Avery, right? Right, John?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I was watching it. I'm
I know,
sorry.
right? So you're powering that guy out of there, man. I mean, that's just a massive hit there. So, I mean, we probably ran that play. I can't tell you how many times you think we ran it the other night.
I don't know, but I wish we went in more.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, I'm sure that Joplin's going to be preparing for this play, so we know that's coming up. I mean, does that concern you at all?
no. I'm not concerned about it at all. I think whoever they line up against us, they're just going to get hit hard.
So I've seen you actually get to carry the ball a couple of times this year, too. Is that fun?
Yeah, scored my first touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. Come on, guys. Thank you.
We're going to get some life out of this crowd tonight, yeah. Well, Tom, I mean, you've got a job here, too, buddy. I mean, I love this. I think this is you. No, see, where are you at? That's you on this side? Okay, so here he is. He busts through the hole. Jane doesn't follow. He bounces out. But you guys, I mean, you're a big part of Hammer Time because they're coming right off your butt, dude.
Yeah, like I like how whenever we line up under center because we just run the ball down their throat, and it's really like our 11 best players are better than their 11 best players, and we're really good at it.
Yeah, I think so. And I noticed that we actually gave Knitzel quite a bit of time the other night on pass block.
Yeah, well, it helps that we ran the ball a lot, and so they were trying to play for the run, and we go play action, and Connor's just able to throw it deep.
Yeah. Well, guys, congratulations on a big win the other night. We got a big job coming up as we're going to be heading down to Joplin this coming Friday night. Now, John, I got to ask you, dude, you went down there our first game of the year. Good, bad, right, or wrong. We didn't come home with a victory. How was this game in your mind? Because you don't come back with a victory this time, your season's over.
Well, right now it's just kind of like the better team moves on. We've already faced them. They faced us. We both know what each other does, so, I mean, it's really the better team moves on, and hopefully we're the better team.
So, Tom, when you guys are heading down the bus on Friday night, what's going through your mind? How are you mentally preparing for this game that is probably the biggest game of the season for you so far?
I think I'm just going to take it like every other game. I'm not going to, like, get in my head like, oh, it might be the last game or anything, because then I'll just focus on that instead of getting the job done.
Yeah. I don't want to go backwards too far, but let me ask you guys something, because I can remember when I played, having a day off like you did on the Carthage game, does that mess with your routine for the day? Do you think it does?
For me, I tried not to do that. Like, I woke up at like 8:30 or whatever, and we have a group chat with our coach, and we all like say if we're awake or not. And then I just had to fix my car, so I got out and about on that day. So
But it does change the routine up, though. I mean, you normally go to school, you know what you do after school, you get on the bus. I mean, now you've got to kind of fill your day. I mean, I can remember that always being a challenge, but it's glad to hear that maybe you didn't think that it was.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about it. I just knew I needed to like do something so that I'm not just sitting on the couch like thinking about the game all day.
What about you, John? What'd you do on that day?
So throughout the week, I actually kind of like planned out for the Friday. And it was like, I need to wake up at this time. I have this stuff to do, do my homework, just stay busy and up and moving, don't sit down for too long, keep drinking water, and just kind of go on like a regular day.
Right. And then get to school when Coach wants you there and get ready to go. Mm-hmm. Well, guys, hey, listen, it's been an honor and a privilege this season to watch you two play. Especially knowing the key roles that you guys have. And Tom, I don't get to call your name much, dude. I just don't. And it's not, but that's not what you're in that role for. When you hear that Jaden Avon scored a touchdown, or we've connected with Knitzel to Combs or whoever, and he had time to block, dude, that's just like me saying you and every offensive line, man, on that line. So, man, give our offensive line a big hand. I wish there was a way we could call them out more during the games, and we just can't do it.
Well, I just like seeing everybody else make plays. It's kind of fun.
It's humble, man. And John, this season, man, it's been an honor watching you on both sides of the field. I'm enjoying getting to see a little bit on offense. You got a big fumble recovery this week, so that was good. You got a little here comes the boom. Got your first touchdown this season. So, again, thanks for all your dedication and hard work. Any final thoughts as we wrap up our interview here today?
Let's go beat Joplin.
Let's go beat Joplin. I like it. Guys, we'll be right back. We're going to have a final word with Coach Perry right here at the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. On behalf of the Nixa Downtown Revitalization Group, thanks to everybody who attended this year's 2021 Creative to the Crossroads. We had a marvelous time, a fantastic time. The streets were packed in downtown with area businesses and organizations handing out goodies, selling fun items, and we had all kinds of extra things. We had things like the pet costume contest. We had the adult costume contest, the kids costume contest, and live music and so much more. Make plans to join us next year for Creeping to the Crossroads in downtown Nixa. It'll be the Saturday before Halloween. We'll see you in downtown Nixa. Well, welcome back once again to the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show right here at Big Whiskies. Anyway, Coach, I didn't see you Saturday night down at Creeping to the Crossroads, unless you were that one guy in that big, huge outfit that had the like the guy on the band. You didn't see it, but this guy.
That was me.
Were you down there?
That was me.
Dr. Loden showed up, so I didn't know if you were coming down to Creeping or not.
Yes, that was me.
Yeah, it was a fun event we had in downtown this week, but you know, it is kind of scary when you think about what we have coming up again. I mean, I was sitting up there on Friday night listening to the game. We came one missed field goal away from playing Lee Summit. They had, in the first overtime, they had a 30-yarder, and a kid had the distance and just went a little wide. But now, because of that, second overtime, Joplin scores. We're heading back. What's on your mind about this game? What's on your mind about the Joplin game?
Man, I'm excited to get to go play them. You know, like that night, I felt like I was really proud of our guys that night because we overcame some adversity in the game, and I thought our guys played really hard. We have improved since then. I think we are a team of players and coaches who strive to get better every single day. And, you know, I think we're a better football team. And, you know, our goal is to win a 6A state championship, and this is one of the games that we've got to win to be able to do that. Whoever plays for a 6A state championship this year is going to win Friday night, and it's win or go home. So we are, you know, anticipating going over there and doing the things that we've done all year long. Play as hard as we can play, control what we can control, and be ready to play. I think we're a better football team now than we are then, and I'm excited to get a redo. Man, not often do you get a chance to make a wrong right, and we have a chance Friday night to make a wrong right.
Well, I want to make a right guy on the ground a lot. What do you think, Jaden? That didn't come out right. I was talking about that kid, right, that quarterback. How do we? I'm not as good at the jokes as Coach is, but you know, how about you, Jaden? Are you ready to put that guy on his back a little bit?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to put him on his back. I think he's gonna be on the ground a lot when we play him.
Well, good. You know, Jaden, this game is this is either you keep playing high school football, or you turn in your shoulder pads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How are you preparing for this Friday night yourself?
I definitely use it as something to drive me to like play my hardest. Because if I don't play my hardest and I like regret not going 100% every play, I'm gonna think about it like throughout my life, and like it's something that I could have done better to like win.
So when you say something that's going to drive you, like have you ever watched that Last Dance with Michael Jordan? It's always like that. He wanted to be challenged, right? Or he wanted somebody to tell him he couldn't do something. Is that kind of what motivates you, or what motivates you to get out there and just turn to beast mode, or freak mode, I guess, freak mode?
Yeah, I guess just turn to freak mode.
Yeah, because I think that's what I've seen sometimes, man. And when you're like in that one play we showed a while ago, when you're carrying 8, 9, 10 guys, dude, that's freak mode, man. We're going to need that Friday night. I mean, that's a big thing. Well, anyway, I wanted to say the same thing I said to Tom and John to you. That's why I want to bring it back up. Regardless of what happens Friday night, I hope we get to continue to keep doing coaches shows for 4 or 5 more, however many more games we need. I just want to tell you, man, it's been fun the last couple of years to watch your junior and your senior year. I know you played a little bit on your sophomore year, but the last 2 years to really dive into and watching you develop as a player and as a person, it's just been great to be able to watch you as a fan. So, man, thank you so much. Give a round of applause to Jaden Avon. All right, Coach, I'm done watching that clips. He's leaving. He's just going to leave. He's leaving.
Yeah, he
Let's
left us.
Jaden. He's probably got a burger or something over there he wants to get back to from Big Whiskies. Well, Coach, unless you got any other final thoughts about Friday night, I know we need a big crowd down there.
We're good. We hope that a lot of folks will come watch. Our kids have worked really hard. We need a crowd. You know, the crowd helps our team out. You know, I mean, it gives them a little extra juice, and you know, hopefully we'll put something out there that, you know, that they'll be proud of. And, you know, like he said, the one thing we want our guys to do is not have any regrets. You know, like
right.
Football's going to end for everybody at some point in time. You know, what you don't want is regrets. Go out there and play the game as hard as you can play it. And at the end of the night, you know, you can live with it for the rest of your life. You know, what you don't want to live with is, you know, what if I'd done this, or what if I'd played a little harder, or, you know, we're going to go play as hard as we can play.
You know, if any of the students are watching this program here, I just got to tell you, you know, it's something that It is. It kind of come into a full circle for me because this past Saturday, Heather was there and Vance and we all went to our former coach's funeral, right? Coach Davies. Coach Rich Davies passed away a couple weeks ago. We had the service. It was neat seeing his family there and a whole bunch of players. Coach Wells popped by and it was just really interesting, but it just brings back those memories of us playing on the game. And they would talk about some of his favorite sayings, and I can, to this day, probably like these guys will be able to do 25 years from now, they'll still hear you saying that, right? So all I can tell you, students and athletes, is whether you're football, basketball, or whatever, this coming Friday night, if you don't put it all out there on the line, it'll be one of the biggest regrets you'll ever have. And someday you'll look back and say, well, we should have been or could have been, right?
No doubt about it.
So it's so important. All right, Coach, I'm going to wrap things up for us. Thank you so much for all you do for our program and all the coaches at the Nixa football program. And, of course, I also got to tell you, Dustin Martin, man, that guy behind the scenes at a football game, Brandon Clark, all these guys. I'm up there on Friday night. We have got a great program through our staff and through all of our faculty, and they just do such a great job. Give them a round of applause for always making sure that we have a great Friday night experience. All right, that's a wrap from the Nixa Touchdown Club Coaches Show. Don't forget, big thanks to our sponsors, Jenkins CPA, Big Whiskeys, Greg's Mower Shop, and Price Cutter. We'll see you Friday night at Joplin High School. Good night, everybody. That's a wrap.